vintage test equipment collectors, here's something that's very recognizable. The Simpson 260. This is a Series 7. So this is early 80s. This is one that I picked up very recently. And if you look at it, it spent its life in the leather case. It's just so clean. The leather case has got a couple paint splatters on it, some bumps on it. Heavy, everything heavy duty, but look at the feet on it, metal. Could have been used by an electrician or somebody radio TV out in the field. And a couple little problems with it. The R×1 scale didn't work, which is a very common thing. If you measure some voltage, basically anything above 40 volts and about a quarter amp, you're going to smoke a resistor inside of it. There's a couple in there. There's a 1.09K and I forget what the other one is, but I replaced them. They just burn open. Replace them with flame-proof resistors. Let's take a look at this. Original leads. Not even that much wear on them. And I'm going to tell you a little story about these meters. I was first introduced to these in high school, about the time that this one was made. And they had some Simpson Series 4 and some Simpson Series 5. So from the 50s and 60s, and all of them worked. Occasionally something would blow, occasionally one would drop. You'd see one, it would have a crack through the case, and there'd be, some epoxy holding it together, but it would still work. That's the thing about them. I'm just going to show you how this one zeroes out. Yeah, just perfectly like it should. A couple of things are added in the Series 7, an off switch, a 1 volt measure. If you're doing something like bias current, on an amp, it gives you a more accurate reading. And anyway, the year that I started electronics, the first electronics course that I took in grade 11, they're phasing out the Simpsons and they brought in BK Precision digital multimeters. This is what we're going to work with in the future. If any of you go into the electronics field, quote my teacher would say, you're going to be working with digital equipment. So a few years later, I end up in telecom, and I'm issued one of these. It's kind of funny. We're troubleshooting digital trunks with analog equipment, but we won't go into that. It's just a classic, and they're still made. And this one's kind of unique. It's actually a London, Ontario. It's a Canadian one. I believe it was still made in the US, but it was a Canadian market. And I think I know it was a Bell Tech that owned this one, who actually had his manager buy it because he wanted a good meter at home. Anyway, that's just a little bit about the 260. I just wanted to pay homage to it. They're still quite usable if you're doing electronics, like especially vintage electronics. And, if it falls off the bench, you're going to get hurt, not the meter. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.